What do you think about Labour calling off the strike or protest? Some people say it's protest, and people say strike. But me, I say it's protest come strike. How do you see the calling off? Is it a good one from an economic perspective, so to say?
Thank you very much. Let me say this: kudos to Nigerian government and to organized labor. The very essence of strike is not to destroy the economy. The essence of strike is for that.
Okay. Hello.
When negotiations are made and critical issues and points are being raised, critical agreements are reached, there is no need to prolong strike when decisions are taken in the very interest of national peace. So, for me, the Labour calling of the strike is for one, national tranquility and development. And again, kudos to the government for their negotiation skills and ability to negotiate, dialogue, and mediate with all stakeholders in the Nigerian business. So it's a very good one, calling of the strike. Because if the strike had continued, we may lose economically in terms of our productive base. That's not good for all of us. Thank you.
I was going to ask you now, as an economist, how are you weighing the promises or the promise by the federal government, the president himself, saying the refinery in Port Harcourt, the old Port Harcourt refinery of 60,000 capacity, will work by December 2023? Do you think there's some credibility in that statement, given that we've had promises over the years?
The challenge is this: it is not enough to promise. What is important is to walk the talk. So it is up to Mr. President and his economic team and other members of the managers of the Nigerian economy to walk the talk. The promise he has made, himself and his team have made, is a bond. It is a watch that we Nigerians need to look out. If he keeps his word, kudos to him. If he does not, then it is an aberration. It becomes an appalling to his personality and his office. So we will not say whether he will implement it or not, but he has given Nigerians a word which is a bond on his personality and his office. And to the oath he has sworn to uphold. So let's see how he works the talk. But for Nigerian laborers that have listened to that bond and have taken that bond as a standpoint to their decision, it's also good for national peace, like I said before. There is nothing that can be achieved without national peace. And without national peace, there is anarchy. And what there is anarchy, economic growth and development will be destroyed. So we are not looking for that, and we don't pray for that. So let's believe Mr. President for his word, which is a bond and an agreement with the Nigerian people. That's what I can say about that.
Since Abacha's administration, we've been pumping money in billions, in trillions into these refineries, 4 of them, and yet all 4 refineries are working at zero capacity right now, if you understand what I mean. Do you think it's economically viable to pump some more money, or do you think, you know what, we should get it privatized? Because some people say for petrol to be affordable, then there should be state refineries.
Whichever way it is, bailing out the refinery or revamping the refinery through funding is not out of place. Even if you want to privatize, it is still money that will be invested in those refineries to bring them back to life. One thing we need to do, and let me say this critically from the economic point of view, Nigerian government after government have over time budgeted funds and equally funded those refineries without kickstarting or revising it back to life. The question here is, what was the need analysis done on those refineries? What was the capacity gap? What was the infrastructural analysis as to determine the level of decay of the infrastructure and the technology so used? Are they in tandem with the newest technology in the industry where the petroleum is operating? If the technology is obsolete, what should we do? The best thing to do is to look for better technology to revive the refinery. Yes, another school of thought will tell you privatization is good, but one thing we need to understand: who are we privatizing these refineries to? What is their key expertise in managing refineries? What is their expected turnaround time, and what is the benefit the privatization will bring? One thing I need to say here, this is Cletus talking. One thing I need to say here is, for whatever investment we need to make now and in the future in our 4 refineries, it is important we do a due diligence on the technology of those refineries, whether they are in tandem with what the industry is actually using. If they are not, we need to, embrace the new technology so that the funding that we are making into those refineries will bring value for money and then create profitability and enhance sustainability of the system. That's very key. Additionally, before we go further to invest in those refineries, there is need for us to look at our corruption index as far as those areas are concerned. So if we need to get the right experts, we do monitoring, we do evaluation, and then we adequate supervision. It is key we do that, because when we continue to invest in a system or in a structure that is not productive enough, it then becomes a leakage to our economy. So we do not want the investment any longer to serve as leakages, but it should become a proper investment that has value for money and can pay back time, that is capable enough to resuscitate, regenerate, and provide premium motor spirit for and other byproducts for economic business activities in Nigeria. So Nigerians are looking up to this as a benefit from the bonds that Mr. President has made to Nigerian Labour Congress. So this is what I can say. Investing in those refineries is not out of place, because if we do not invest to revive them, they become national disgrace and national embarrassment. And then it becomes a waste of investment over the years. So what he actually brought us there, it is a case of inadequate maintenance. It is a case of inadequate supervision. And it is a case of what? Improper, personnel management as far as those facilities are concerned. Mr. President didn't see to bring it back. It's good for all of us as a country.
Okay, let me pause you now. You've talked about maintenance. If you listen to a large population of Nigerians speak right now, they will tell you that we need our refineries. That's what everybody has been talking about for the past few days, about the refineries. And there is the argument about capitalism and socialism. You and I talked about this earlier in the day. Some people are saying, if our refineries are working, we don't need to pay subsidy. The product the price of the product will come down. The marketers are saying, no, it won't come down. It's just 17 naira difference that you will somewhere around that region in the pricing of the product. But I had a guest yesterday who said, even right now, that there is corruption with the current pricing system of petrol. So what's your take on this? If our refineries are working, how does this impact on the Nigerian society?
Now let me say this. Thank you very much. An effective capitalism that is able to deliver goods and services, reverse economic activity. The case in point is the Nigerian telecommunications sector. Just oppose the Nigerian telecommunications sector and compare the present telecom systems, MTN, Airtel, Blue. We have NITEL. NITEL was moribund at a point in time, but when it was privatized, at inception, the cost of telecom was high. Nigerians paid beyond what they need to pay. But over time, competition, over time, demand and supply, over time, efficiency in services reduce the cost implication on the user. Taking that economic understanding and place it back in the petroleum industry, when the refineries are working at full capacity or near full capacity, the ability of the refineries to supply products to end users, will also resuscitate economic activity. Small, medium, and small, medium scale businesses will have power supply to power their processes, and they will generate income. The income will be plowed back, and then we're able to meet up their demand. What is key is, and what is important for us to note is, investment that is not able to deliver goods and services is a waste. That's what we've had over time. But if Nigerian government is able to resuscitate the refineries and they're able to produce gasoline, premium motor spirit, and other products that can power our industry, that can power our productive sector, and the productive sector is able to make profit, it will generate income that will resuscitate. So it becomes a cycle of profitability to individuals, to the government, and to investment. Now, what we need to also understand is, when the system is working, the refineries are working, the cost of landing for whatever we're importing fuel to Nigeria will be minimized or almost eliminated. And I will talk about the cost of storage will also be minimized. Permit me to tell you at this juncture that those refineries have in them storage capacity.
All right.
Those refineries have in them pipelines behind them, which will also help to transport the product from point of production to point of demand or point of use. And you will also agree with me. Across the length and breadth of Nigeria, we have depots. One in Benin City, one in Gombe, one in Suleja, one in Mina, and across Nigeria, one in Yola here, and across Nigeria, the length and breadth of Nigeria. These are storage points that can warehouse this product onwards transmission to end users. So what we need to do is to do a holistic value chain analysis of the refinery, the crude oil sector, to ascertain the decadence in the system so that we rectify. When we rectify them, we'll be able to fix them up within the set time that Mr. President has agreed with Labour. That has the capacity and capability to regenerate the Nigerian economy, promote value chain, and increase business opportunities and activities that is capable of generating employment. That in itself will resuscitate our economy to a point where the gross domestic product of Nigeria, the GDP, will become more robust than what we have. And that will transcend to even the per capita income of Nigerians, because Nigerians will become productive. For instance, the barber shop cannot work effectively because there is no gasoline. And other micro businesses cannot work effectively because there is no gasoline. So the ability of the government to resuscitate the refinery is also tantamount to resuscitating the economy. So over time, the capitalism involved, the value chain involved, the successes of this system will reduce the pricing in the long run. Leakages out of the country, such as smuggling, are controlled.
So let me get something straight. You because you tilted more towards capitalism, so it means that the people, Nigerian people, will still have to pay, some good amount of money for petrol.
Now, the question is, why did I use the term capitalism? Understand that before the last administration rounded off or wounded off, the NMPC was transformed from a government parastatal to a private sector.
Okay.
So there's a transition. So whatever the government is doing is like a bailout. It's like a loan to NMPC. So NMPC in itself, NMPC Limited in itself, should wear the cap of a capitalist, should wear the cap of a business manager, and begin to think through how that money, so acquired from the government, can transform the sector to making it more viable and reliable. So that means you're saying, like I asked not too long ago, it's going to be a profit-making enterprise. I'm talking about the refinery now. Yes, the refinery should be treated as a business entity. It is only then that the Nigerian government will have value for money.
Okay.
If it is treated as a business entity, that's when Nigeria will have value for money. But if it is treated as a social enterprise, the same anomaly that has always been will repeat itself. So that's the challenge.
So now, final question before I let you go, because I know you've got a busy schedule right now. So if we are treating it as a business enterprise to have value for money, which for me has been the problem, that's why the refinery is not working. How do you now put in place, cost of production, paying employers, or rather paying the people you've employed, transportation, all of these things, as a business enterprise, while you're paying for them, you're thinking about making profit as well. Because some people have said,
they are called overhead costs.
Overhead costs, okay.
Every business organization pays overhead costs. And the payment of overhead costs and your ability to mitigate or manage overhead costs to the minimum tells you that you are a business manager. So NMPC, in its wisdom, should be able to do this so that the Nigerian populace will have value for money and enjoy what they are paying for. So that's why I use the word value for money. That's why I use the word business entity. So NMPC needs to start thinking in that direction. That's the only way we can move forward in this country.
Well, what about the issue of naira dollar? For the purchasing of
will become a strong producing country. Country don't. Currency of a nation does not improve by mere pronouncement. They improve by productive activity. They improve by your ability to produce adequately, such that it will enable your currency have a productive value that can be exchanged internationally. Until you do this, you will not have value for money, and your currency will remain worthless in the wider world.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Cletus Ilugo. Thank you.
It has always been my pleasure to be here in Nigeria. So thank you once again, Nigerians, listening over there.
All right,
thank you for listening. Be educated one more. God bless.
All right, thank you very much. Now I'm just going to quickly run through some monies that have been spent on the refineries. Now, $2.7 billion earmarked for rehabilitation, right? 4 refineries shut down since 2017 with a total capacity of 445,000 barrels per day. Okay, now Port Harcourt, old and new, have got a combined capacity of 210,000 barrels per day capacity, right? Old Port Harcourt Refinery 60,000, the new one 150,000. Now, the Port Harcourt Refinery complex was awarded to Technimalt SPA at the sum of $1.4 billion in the month of March in the year 2021. The Kaduna Warri refineries, with a capacity of 110,000 and 125,000 barrels per day respectively, was awarded to South Korean firm Daewoo Engineering and Construction, respectively $740.6 million and $492.3 million. Right now, Temiprio Siva is quoted as saying that $586.9 million had been spent for Kaduna and $897.6 million spent on Warri refineries already. Messrs. Saipem SPA and Saipem Contracting Limited had been the earlier contractor, with the contract said to be around the region of $1.4 billion. I mean, look at the money that I'm calling, understand where I'm going to. So, when I open the phone lines, you would be able to call and talk from a point of knowledge, right? Now, according to the Guardian newspaper, August 2022 publication, the refinery workers gobbed 136 billion naira. I mean, refineries were not working, but they were being paid salaries to the tune of 136 billion naira. I mean, we've had this conversation before. I'm just going through my notes so as to warm up your memory. Now, Business Day September 2021 publication did say that refineries employed 1,586 new staff and paid 69 billion naira. Now, Punch January 2020 said $396 million was spent on turnaround maintenance between 2013 and 2015. That's what the Goodluck Jonathan's era. Now, Guardian 2021 publication did say $25 billion had been spent on the refinery's rehabilitation. Now, according to the report, Abacha spent 21 million, I beg your pardon, my handwriting is poor. Abacha spent $216 million between 1994 and 1998. But the refinery, as at July-December 2023 or July to December 2023, it was reported that government would have spent 8.4 trillion naira. That if we had continued to pay subsidy, we would have spent 8.4 trillion naira. I'm not going to bore you with all of the statistics. I've got so many other statistics, but I'm going to end there, and I'm going to open the phone lines, and I'm going to ask you, what do you make of, one, the promise by the president? How do you then think that the refineries when functional will affect the economy of Nigeria? how are you also reacting to the marketers who have now said that, I mean, even if the refineries are working, it's only going to be 17 naira difference? That's all the refineries will be able to reduce. Do you smell foul play here? 0817923 0002 0817923 0003. WhatsApp number 0809-0306-416. Remember, we're live on Facebook, Nigeria Info PH, live on YouTube, Nigeria Info PH, and we're active on Twitter, Nigeria Info PH. All right, let's start by taking. Remember, you can draw messages. I read them. I promise you, I really do. First of all, do you think that the federal government knows how important these refineries are, and if they will be able to match their words with action? And then, if they are able to match their words with action, do you yourself know the importance of these refineries? And how do you feel? I mean, listening to my guest, how do you feel it will affect? But then again, moving on, I'm also asking, what do you make of the marketers saying, I mean, Eatman saying that, hey, what's the big deal? Clinton from Bury, welcome on the show. Let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you, Colada.
Yeah, welcome.
First, the promise made by Mr. President is a confidence booster.
All right.
I think Nigerians are really excited at the prospect of our refineries working. Then, on the second look, I think there are a lot wrong with the Nigerian system. Look at the amount of money that you've laid out now, and yet our refineries have not been working. It's very, very unfortunate. Then, Canada, looking at the removal of subsidy, how much are we going to get PMS when the refinery finally works? How much was the subsidy paid by the federal government? I don't know if you have those figures.
Yeah, we reeled them out yesterday, and my guest talked about it. You know, he said something about 200
secondly, now we know that NNPC now is now a private enterprise.
Yes.
And the refineries are owned by the government. Does it mean that the NNPC will now buy from the refineries or buy from Nigeria? Or Nigeria now will now privatize the refineries?
No, the refiner, the NNPC is not necessarily a private enterprise. It is, is now a limited company. That's why it's called NNPC Limited. So what it means is that people, you and I, can go and buy shares. So that is the same thing that would happen to the refineries. And where they are shareholders, then there is bound to be profit making.
Okay, finally, and the effect on the economy, I think it will change a lot of things.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've got Ilumba from Artillery. Ilumba, welcome.
I agree with you.
I greet you right back.
See what I want to talk about all this on the lead up now. Let me tell you something. One thing is certainly sure here, that there's no goodwill. These leaders that you mentioned now, they will lack goodwill. And they run this thing for their own interest. And it's very unfortunate for people to claim to love Nigeria and they're doing things they love Nigeria. Their own personal property, did they handle you this way? If you look at it, you see that goodwill is lacking here. It's not because of a refinery. If people can use ordinary drone, refine fuel, government becomes jealous of them, chase them with army. Well, what will it taking to refine fuel?
All right.
Goodwill is lacking. God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much. Goodwill. Kitoye from Port Harcourt. Welcome, Kitoye.
Good evening.
Yeah, hi. Good evening. Welcome.
Okay, so this is what I think. I think first Nigerians are reacting too soon to the subsidy being taken off. The truth is something we've been used to for a long time, and it's going to be tough.
Okay.
It's going to be tough initially, but over time things will play out. Number one. Number two, a lot of all this process and all that is to push and force the government to go back to the time of paying subsidy. And this is putting money in the pocket of a few.
All right.
And then I think that if they just let the present government do what they say they want to do and give them a little time. The president has said between now to December that those refineries will be, at least the Harcourt Refinery will be up. Okay, let's give him the benefit of doubt.
All right.
Before we hang him.
But don't you think?
Let's give him the benefit of
Don't you
doubt.
think? Don't you think that this is not the first time we've heard promises from government? How do we trust government? That's what some people are asking.
It is true. It is not the first time. For me, I think the refineries have been what I would call an elephant project. You know, like the proverbial white elephant. Money just goes in there. But the good thing is, this government is just starting. So this is not towards the end of their tenure. This is at the start. So we have something to hold on.
All right.
Okay, by December at least one. Because I mean, it would be a very bogus project to take out of 4 refineries at the same time. But if you're pragmatic, you can say, okay, let's pick only one. We give it our energy and our focus. We get it working before we move on to the other. I think that's the right thing.
In the defense of the government, the last administration had already started the rehabilitation of all of the refineries. Different companies. I said in defense of the government, the last administration had already said they started rehabilitation on the refineries, all of them, and different companies are working on them, and different dates for they're coming on stream. So let's see how that plays out.
Okay, but the good thing is this administration says, okay, we are taking it off from them.
Okay.
Or continuing.
All right.
And for me, it's good because usually a new administration comes in and dumps the previous project, and goes on to do something new. There's no continuity, and that's the big challenge we have. But in this case, there's continuity. So let's give them time.
All right.
It's going to be tough. That's the truth.
It is tough, I should say. Kitoya, thank you very much.
I think it might work.
All right. Kitoya, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much. I've got Daniel from Transamadi. Daniel, greetings to you. I know you love conversations like this. So what's on your mind?
Yeah, Kalada, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome.
Kalada, let me go with you for your analysis. This problem started from Abacha.
Okay.
Abacha have a lot of money located to refinery. How many years back? Compare a child that was born under Abacha. How many years is that child today?
That child is around
we have
29.
Abubakar. And then we'll have Osibanjo Obasanjo. We have what's his name? We have
Abdusalami
Olusegun, sorry.
Obasanjo, Yaradua.
From Obasanjo, there was a money located. And Obasanjo Kukmano says, like this turnaround is not working. He sold it off. Now, the Goodluck administration and his Oga came to revise it. They keep on be located to this refinery. Buhari come, he haven't to work. Do you think that it is this government that will make refinery to work? I am Daniel. I said no to it. And the reason is simple. Government of Nigeria, this is a word. It's a very big purse where they make their money.
All right.
Because one of the big resources where Nigeria make their budget is oil. I will know how important this is. So it's like a pipe where whoever that is in charge of the government make money. You can't tell me that over how many presidents this have not worked, not even one day. And when you talk about subsidy and subsidy, you can't tell me that the government themselves are not that sensitive enough, knowing that, look, if you refine this oil in my country, I will not pay for anything. Because when somebody says the marketer is telling me there is only 17 that is different, how can it be 17 naira? The landing cost is how much? Have they been able to tell us? Nobody is telling us. You have to change the naira to dollars.
But Daniel,
in the naira will reduce.
Daniel,
you don't need to go and buy dollar for anything.
Daniel, let me pause you now. Now, I'm not giving legal status to coal-fire, as we call it in our local parlance, but even the illegal refining seems to be almost as expensive as what we buy in the petrol stations. And yet, those people are not even buying petrol. They are illegally stealing the petrol. So, cost of production. What do you think about that?
Kalada. You call it illegal refining. And the reason why that illegal refining is very high is very simple. Now, I don't know their cost of production. Some of this production, Nigerian system, the chain. Because only them are not doing that. How much do they spend? But whether we like it or not, I don't think, I'm not an economist, but I don't think that the food you cook in your house, the difference of it, the one you bring from US, will just be 17. I don't think so.
Okay. Now that you, Daniel,
whether we like it or not, I don't think I have to buy to that idea.
Daniel, one more argument before I let you go. So you've brought food into this matter now. So the food you cook in your house and the food you buy from Buka, is there really much difference? I know there is difference, but it's the difference as much as we make it sound.
Canada. There are differences.
Okay.
Depends on who is cooking outside is cooking to make profit.
Okay.
You are cooking to eat and get satisfied, and the price can never be the same.
Okay then. Are you sure?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time, Daniel. Well said. But let's read some messages before I go to Christian's call, because I've got a lot of messages. The president just directly put himself on a scale. I am. What did you say? Okay, I'm waiting for that to load. The network is poor there, so I've got to go back to the phone lines. Kristen from Awuda. Kristen, welcome.
This is Mr. Kalada.
Yeah, Kristen, welcome.
Mr. Kalada, how are you sure the refinery is ready from now to December?
I'm not sure. I'm reading the report.
I'm not sure of that refinery. Before people discuss about the advantage we get from the refinery, think about whether the refinery will work or not. We have had a lot of refinery from down. You analyze it. How are you people sure that the refinery will be ready from that to
Keep the faith. That's all I'm going to say. Keep the faith.
Yeah, Nigerians, that refinery will not be ready.
Where is your faith? I mean, we're religious people, right? And they say what you believe is what will work for you. I mean, that's what motivational speakers and pastors and imams would tell you. But what do I know? Matthew from Abba Road. Matthew, greetings. Good evening. Welcome on the show.
Good evening, Kalada.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, yesterday we said something about this refinery issue, and I told you that Labour will never be able to push anything that is positive. How can the president call Labour within some few hours? They will just agree that they have a date and they should go back to their office. In the days of Adam Oshemole, Adam will tell the president, we'll take this message to the secretary, we'll discuss it, we'll come back and give you our result while the strike is ongoing. There is no way this government can put the refinery in order. It is not possible. Because the comparative advantage of importing fuel is cheaper than the one they want to put in place. And it is not possible, from what you have analyzed in the papers from the past regimes, no government has been able to put it in order. What is the magic that the Tinubu is going to do to put it in order? It's not there. So these people, they don't sit down to discuss our problem. They know our problem. He knows that refinery is bad, we don't have lights, we don't have water, we don't have hospital. They don't discuss that. They will go to all these things that does not matter to us. I'll be telling you in the radio that we will give money to SME and all the rest. We will share money to them. Who are these people they are sharing money to? And if you listen to the government of the governor of Edo State yesterday, why don't they spend this money to the local government to share? Why must it be the federal government that is sharing money?
No, but
So no. And you know, from Obasanjo time to this time, they will tell you to tell you sorry. Obasanjo told us sorry when he missed the NEPA issue. Then after that, Buhari told us sorry before he left. Tinubu is going to tell us sorry after 8 years again. We continue to remain in one place.
All right, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling in. Obed from NTA Road, welcome. Let's talk.
Good evening, Canada. Yeah, can you hear me? Yes, Canada. I think for another hand, like the action he took after he met with labor union when we are talking about the content order and all that, I think it gives me to doubt if really that refinery was going to work.
But it's not now. Wait, Obed. It's not the contempt suit is not from the president. You know how I mentioned we've got different agencies working for the federal government, and sometimes they can be very overzealous in their attempt to prove that they are working. You know, they are working.
Canada, let's not go that. Let's not overflow that.
Okay.
It gives me doubt for that. So that's why I think of that. But Canada, I think we have a lot to benefit if our refinery is put to work. You understand? And it gets me worried that a government has come and gone for successive administration that we cannot be able to fix our refinery. And they kept giving us impressions that even when the refinery is big, the cost of petrol was going to skyrocket and all that. That is the only problem that is in Nigeria.
All right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So Canada, let me tell you, I still have my doubts because the people who own these tank farms, where they brought petrol to store inside, they will go out of business. So I'm doubting the possibility of what Mr. President said, because all the politicians, especially all the tank farms, are owned by the politicians. You understand? So I doubt Canada, I must tell you, but it's a very good thing if we have our refinery work. There will be nothing like landing cost, because if our refinery fails to work, Canada, we will buy fuel at the rate of 1,000 plus. Let's not forget. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Obed. Now I can focus on the messages. Let's see, on Facebook, Comrade Ekpeno Akpan, good evening. I'll be very happy to see Port Harcourt Refinery start working. Ibiene Alfred Ibulu, the byproduct of the coal fire being expensive is as a result of high cost of settling military officers and communities. Oh, that's an argument. Joseph Garba from, you didn't send a message. You said corruption is the basic problem of what we are facing. The FCC would have gone after those contractors that failed to complete their job. Just imagine the former Minister of Petroleum who has failed is now about to run for governorship election in his state, when he should be explaining to Nigerians what happened to the millions of dollars pumped into the refineries. All right, thank you very much. That's for Facebook. Let's do WhatsApp now a little bit. Let's see. The president just directly put himself on a scale. In advanced countries, the scale will count, but in Nigeria, it is dead on arrival. What is wrong with the modular refinery as promised by the previous government? Maxwell with that one. But let's see this one now. Good day. The government is not ready and sincere. They're not telling us the truth about the refinery. The refinery, they are just using it to collect money when they need money, but tell Nigerian citizens that they are fixing the refineries. The 4 refineries have different product lines, some up to 22 product lines, but today those lines are not functional and some cannot produce more than 2 products as it is. What we need is a brand new refinery. The 4 refineries capacity of 435 barrels per day. A barrel of crude gives approximately 160 liters of PMS. So this 435,000 barrels would give 69,600,000 liters of PMS per day. So this would meet the daily consumption of PMS in Nigeria, and equally DPK, AGO, and ATK. The current quota of OPEC for Nigeria is 1,830,000 barrels of crude per day. So net off 183,000 minus 435,000, Nigeria would be left with 1,395,000 barrels of crude for export. So what this means, with the current price of Brent crude at $85 per barrel of crude, Nigeria would earn foreign exchange of about $185,575,000 per day. And then you talked about the Naira equivalent. So in a month this would be 2.667 trillion naira on a monthly basis. So the question, or questions Nigerians should ask those in government, is why are they refusing to fix the refinery or build new ones if the old ones are no longer productive? Triumph from Port Harcourt, thank you very much for this mathematics. I would have to fact check them, but I like the fact that you went through the stress to do the mathematics for me. But so says, please ask your guests, is there any disadvantage for selling off the refineries, either as they are now or if they are refurbished before sale, apart from government risking loss making to ensure petroleum products keep being sold at the cheapest possible prices? What else are the gains of federal government continuing the management of the refineries? Michael Okrika. Michael, if you listened, I think he answered that question. This one says, all this talk of fixing our refineries is pure falsehood. It is easier for the sky to change from blue to permanent red than these are current politicians fixing our refineries. How will Dangote operate and survive if they fix ours? I mean, it's going to be a competition, and that's what will bring down the price, right? But what do I know? This one says, I know it's difficult for Nigerians, but let's be optimistic for once. The president has said the Harcourt Refinery would work by December. Let's hold him to his word. It is not like he's saying that it will work in 3 years. Secondly, I think it is necessary to order a probe into the monies that have been pumped into the refineries with zero result. The GMDs of NNPC, ministers of petroleum and others involved with the refineries from the genesis be probed. Comrade Clinton, thank you very much. But I'm going to go back to taking calls because I'm out of breath reading all of these messages. A couple of them, a lot of them, still there for me to read. Oh my goodness. All right, so please let's do some calls and do call in right now. Ring the studio with the numbers 0817-923-0002 at 0817-923-0003. I would encourage you to drop some comments on Facebook so you and I can continue the conversation even after the show, right? So you and I can continue the conversation. I'm usually in the comment section. Usually I am. Let's see now. I've got a call, and I've got I'm still looking through. Legit Man in Joku says, I have it in mind till tomorrow that this Harcourt refinery will never work by December as said by the president. And my question is, are we going to be buying fuel at this high cost till that December? Honestly speaking, I don't see anything. What you say again? I don't see anything coming out of this government. God help us. But I've got Gumo from Ajib. Gumo, welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Canada.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome on the show.
I believe that government has said a word. This government is very new.
Okay.
Let us give them a benefit of chance to see whether what they are saying they will fulfill it. And then secondly, the modern refinery you talked about last government they proposed. At least state governors can embark on those projects. It's about $50 million or so. If state government, the Niger Delta governors now came in and make sure that we have modern refineries in these are various states, it will cushion the effect. These roads they are doing, they are digging with amount of so much money. If you do the federal government, state government also help.
All right then. All right, Gumo, thank you very much. State government should help. UAOBCK on Facebook, just a way of buying time from NLC to prevent them from embarking on strike at the RG or KOCC. The fact is, government has failed in social contract. Refinery has become a political problem. Ikena Okweuka, Nigerian politicians have a knack for not keeping to their word. I just pray this isn't another empty promise. If it starts working by December this year, then it is obvious that it would reduce the price of petrol. I pray it works, he said. All right, legit man, I've read your message. Iyai Eguchuku, impossible in a country where corruption with visionless politician is legendary. All right. Oh my goodness, I've read a lot of messages today. I should win an award. Good luck, Anthony, or good luck from Anthony. Welcome. Hello, good luck.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, hi, good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Let's hear your thoughts quickly, please. We're almost out of time.
You're trying.
All right.
Oh, my brother. About this issue of refinery. I don't know how long we are going to suffer this. Sometimes I begin to ask myself, what happened to these two refineries? Back then when they are working, what really brought to the breakdown of these two refineries that they cannot even work without it cost a lot and a lot of time and a lot of money being sabotaged from one government to the other to that. I wish there is not a person or some set of people who are responsible for the job for them
good luck. I think
like one of the questions I want to ask is, they really say they are buying these refined products from which they say they do direct purchase. Which country, which place they should open up to us? We want to know. So
that those who can go and make funding should go and make funding and find out the fact if they are not lying.
No, of course.
You know, should I say allegedly, there's this information that this country actually have refineries owned by individuals, but they are operating in the Atlantic Ocean. So I allegedly, maybe that is where they equally go to get this petrol after, according to our that they'll give the crude oil and they get the products in return. Okay. Are you sure they are not the people who are actually refining these products so that they don't want our refinery to be fixed?
Thank you. Good luck. I've got to go now. Thank you very much. Good conspiracy theory there. I might buy into it. Good conspiracy theory. Maybe they've got their own refineries outside. But I mean, early last year, the first quarter of last year, when we had the petrol issue, where they called it the bad petrol or bad fuel, it was reported with documents shown that the products were coming from Belgium. So yeah, there are other countries that we've got treaties with where we do the trade by barter, like a caller called it yesterday. But I've got to go for the news update. But yet again, just to react to what you said, you said you asked why did the refinery fail? And in my opinion, I mean, I can give my opinion on this one, it's economics. In my opinion, I think we've been running it as a welfare program, government and it's possible for us to run it as a welfare program, but you see, when we run too much of welfare and we're not looking at productivity, then there is a problem, and which will bring birth or give birth, rather, that's the right way to put it, which will give birth to our next conversation. What about all the other mineral resources? Oh, sorry, are there other mineral resources in Nigeria? Sorry, yet again, I thought it was just crude oil. We'll talk about these and many more. Stay tuned to 92.3 Nigeria Info.